Hi there and welcome along to another workout for you to row along to. Today's session is going to be a LIIT workout. What's he on about, you ask yourself? Well, you know what a HIIT workout is, the high intensity interval training. Well, it's basically low intensity interval training. Now, just because it's low doesn't mean that it's pointless and that you don't have to do it. This is one of the most valuable sessions you can do. It works on building your core fitness. It's a recovery row. It helps flush out your system. It lets you work out your technique. It's incredibly valuable to you. And of course, because of how it just undulates, it's a really good fat burner because your heart rate is going up and down, and it's fantastic. Do not underestimate sessions like this. It's what I call bottom tier, and it's not because it's an easy one, but it's because that bottom foundation row that it sets you up for everything. You can't build a house without good foundations. You can't be a strong, fit, fast rower without that same foundation. Anyway, so that's my selling spiel out the way. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to do 5 6-minute intervals with 1 minute rest in between. We're going to start at 18 strokes per minute, then the next one's going to be 20, the next one's going to be 22, and then you're going to go back down 20 and 18 again. Your starting pace will be 2k plus 20 to 22, and then as you go to the 20 strokes a minute, you'll be at 2k plus 18 to 20, and then when you get up to the 22 strokes a minute, you'll be between 2k plus 15 to 2k plus 18. That's a mouthful, isn't it? So the point is that your stroke rate goes up, your pace goes up. Now with this being a bottom tier workout, we really don't want to be pushing this, okay? So if we were to look at this with a Maffetone low heart rate point of view, you'd still be wanting to try and keep your heart rate at that 180 minus your age, but I'm going to do this from a 2k pacing point of view rather than MAF, which means that the heart rate will probably climb a little bit further than the MAF setup. So it's your choice how you want to do it. If you've read up enough on MAF and you trust the training and stuff, then you might want to hold that way, but I'm going to go with the 2k based training. Right, I can talk more about the point of all this later. There's no point me waffling on at you right now. God, my beard's grown enough as it is. I mean, I've got no excuse. It's not like I've got anywhere to be that I can't shave. So I apologise for my hideous appearance today. We're going to kick off with a 4 minutes. I'm back on track. We're going to kick off on a 4-minute warm-up. I'm going to start off at around about 18 strokes per minute for this warm-up, do 2 minutes of light rowing, and then do some split drills just to make sure that you're nicely kind of eased off, ready for what is also just going to be like a low impact, low intensity workout. Right, so as always, we start off our warm-ups by setting up our machine. Honestly, I should start again, but I'm not going to. By setting up our machine. So start off with your drag factor. If you don't know anything about drag factor, I do have a video on the YouTube channel which kind of tells you what it is, where you might want to set it, why it's there and stuff. Have a good watch of that, grab a cup of coffee, it goes on a while, but I'll let you know where you want to be setting your drag factor. Next up, go to your monitor and set it to eye height, so you don't have to look up and you don't have to look down. Unfortunately, some machines, for some strange reason, do have the monitor right there, which means that you're tending to look down. Try not to, try to look straight ahead of you while you're rowing and glance down at your monitor. And finally, the foot strap should cover the bottom lace on your shoe, the horizontal one, not the kind of zigzaggy ones, and that should let you bend comfortably forwards as you go to the front of the machine. And if you're in socks like me, just get it to a point that it doesn't bind up your toes as you come forwards. Of course, experiment from time to time with the settings of your foot straps. I used to be 3 holes showing in socks. I'm now 2 holes showing, so I suddenly found it was a lot more comfortable to get to the front, to get my shins into this vertical position with only 2 holes showing. Yeah. Right. What an incredibly long intro I've done today. Let's get into this. Let's do some rowing, for crying out loud. You're not here to listen to me, are you? Right, so 18 strokes a minute, starting off nice and gentle, please, in 3, 2, 1, go. So when I say nice and gentle, I do mean that. For the first minute, just connect with your legs, connect with your arms, maybe just think about the timing of as you connect with your arms and feet, trying to make sure that they happen at the same time without any butt scoot or without your neck lurching up in the air or anything. Just get moving, get that heart rate going. Chances are your heart rate's already beating fast with anger at the length of my ridiculous intro today. Could be worse. It's Burns Day in Scotland today. I could have started reciting Burns poetry at you. Ah, we sleek it, timorous beastie. Oh, no, don't worry. Right. So, we're about to get into 1 minute gone in the warm-up. Just If you're not near your 2K plus 20 pace right now, just add just a couple of seconds to your speed, just to be going a little bit faster. Don't worry too much about getting near 2K plus 20, but maybe at least 2K plus 24, which basically means your average 2K pace and then 24 seconds slower than that. So if you averaged 2 minutes to row 2,000 meters, then you'd be rowing this at between 220 and 224. Got another video about that on my website, on the YouTube channel, if you've got absolutely no idea what I'm on about. Okay, 2 more strokes, 1 more stroke, and let's take one of our feet out, put it on the floor, and then continue rowing with just 1 foot strapped in. It's a handy wee drill, this one, just because it does make you concentrate on the leg that's strapped in. You really have to kind of press away with it. It's like an even pressure as you push the machine away. Right, swap feet and continue with the other one. Same thing again, just 1 leg in, pushing away, trying not to adjust the rest of your technique too much. You might even get into the bad habit of over compressing here. Don't do that, or try not to do that anyway. Okay, 1 more stroke, then let's put both feet in, straight legs, and row with your arms and your body. You're allowed a tiny bend in your knees if it's comfortable, but just don't get any power from your legs. It's just from your back swinging over your hips, and then your arms pulling in to finish the stroke. And really you're just trying to concentrate on that swing forwards and backwards over your hips. 1 more. Alrighty, let's go to the front, arms straight, push out with your legs. Push, push. Just try and get the timing right for that push of the feet and the catch as you pick up the flywheel with your arms. It's so important that you just snap right into the flywheel. Right, 1 more stroke. And that's it. Warm up done. I say warm up done, but again, it's freezing. I think I have to do the first interval with my jumper on, my incredible 10 million meter club Concept 2 sweater. Incredible. You row 10 million meters and they send you a jumper. Stunning. Anyway, sorry. You keep on moving up and down the rail. I'll try and focus at one point, but you keep on moving up and down the rail, have a quick drink, and I'll quickly go over one more time what we're doing today, and then we'll warm up and everything will be good, okay? All right then, so today what we're gonna do is 5 6-minute intervals with 1 minute rest in between. Now, if you're gonna set your monitor for this, then please set the rest to undefined if your monitor will let you do so. If it doesn't, then you might wanna just hit just row and just row along with me and just don't worry about any of the intervals for metrics and stuff. Of course, this is only for these row along workouts. It just kind of keeps us in sync. If you come back and do this on your own one day, then by all means, then set in the 6 minutes and the 1 minute rests. But if you do this with a 1 minute rest on your monitor, there's a tiny chance that we're gonna end up like 5 or 6 seconds out of sync by the end of the workout. It's just the wackiness of the monitor. Anyway, so we're gonna do these at 18, 20, 22, 20, 18 strokes per minute. Nice little pyramid. And you're gonna start off around about 2K plus 20, then 2K plus 18, then plus 15, and then back down to 18 and 20. I mean, you can go 2 seconds slower than each of those if you wish. I'll keep you right for the pace and the stroke rate as we get through all of the intervals. Okay, so really all I'm saying for this one is don't push it too hard, okay? This is a bottom tier, low intensity workout, okay? So try and keep to the paces that I'm telling you to do or suggesting for you to do, and that way you'll get the benefit of the workout. If you push this one, which is very easy to do, it's really easy to push this one too fast because it's so slow, but don't, okay? I'll talk more about it while we might as well just get rowing, okay? So Here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, go. So we're at 18 strokes a minute to start, which is 1 stroke every 3 1/3 seconds-ish, or 3 1/3 recurring. And your pace is 2K plus 20 to 22 seconds. So you're just gonna go 20, 22 seconds slower than what your average pace to row a 2,000 meter time trial is. Although that said, I'm going a lot slower right now, so come on, John, speed up. There we go. So my average time for 2K right now is 1 minute 45. So I want to see between 2:05 and 2:07 on my monitor. But it's not about me. Okay, this is important. This is about you. If you are a faster rower than me, and you've got a better average, then you make sure and hold your pace. And if you aren't quite as fast as me, don't worry about it. This isn't about me. The data at the bottom of the screen and things is just for reference, mostly just to keep me honest. But I'm never gonna post a video that says, this is how fast I'm going, can you try and go as fast as me? Because not only would that be massively egotistical, but it'd be massively pointless as well. So, 2 minutes in, you're starting to feel a little bit warmer. It's -2 in here right now. I checked in between the warm up and starting this one. My water bottle will be a popsicle by the end of all this. Right, let's not think too heavily about technique right now, but let's at least think about posture. Making sure you've got a good, powerful, strong posture. Not a bolt upright plank of wood posture, but you're coming into the front of the machine, sitting up on your sit bones with a powerful, let's call it address to the front of the machine. Your core is braced to take the stroke. You're primed and ready to take the power through your body. You're not slumped and lazy feeling. And the same goes for the back of the stroke, where you want to finish with a braced core and a strong back. And although your hips will roll backwards a bit at the back of the machine, you want to make sure to tilt forwards again as you come in to the front of the machine again. So you get to the back, rock forwards, slide forwards. This isn't the time to hold that rock back and just ease lazily forwards. Neither is the point to just crumple your self forwards through your shoulders and lower back. All you're doing essentially is pivoting over your sit bones into that forward lean at the front, and then the backward lean at the back. Quite handy really, isn't it? Forward lean at the front, backward lean at the back. So yeah, that's all I want you to think about for the remainder of this interval. It's just that rock backwards and forwards. Because it's the most important thing for setting you up for the stroke and then being able to take the power for the stroke. Right, 3 strokes to go. 2 more. And then the last one coming up. There we go. So quite often I'll do like a 30-minute, 20 strokes a minute row as one of these kind of bottom tier foundation rows with no rest. It's just, you just go through it and hit that Zen state as you do it. Today, because we're going up and down this pyramid, and especially because we're going to end up at 22 strokes a minute with right about 2K plus 50, this is why there's rest periods in between. It's to make sure your body is able to calm down and recover, flush out whatever it needs to do in this minute rest, so they make sure that everything's just settled down a little bit to push in again and you're not exhausting yourself. Okay, so if you've gone for the undefined rest, press the button to continue to the next interval now. Now it's a 10-second point, and sit there ready. And we're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So now we're at 20 strokes a minute. Slightly faster stroke rates, and hopefully just by rowing at this slightly faster stroke rate, you will be going slightly faster. You know what I mean? Just the increase in stroke rate should just be enough to make you go faster. Sorry, the reason I completely messed that up is I've just realised I totally messed up the maths in my first interval, didn't I? I was doing it as 18 to 20 instead of 20 to 22. I'll have to go back, maybe I didn't. Just suddenly dawned on me I called out the wrong times. Apologies if you were, if I did, and you're confused. But this one is definitely 2K plus 18. And then if you feel you need to back off a couple of seconds, maybe just from an intensity point of view, then as long as you're still going faster than you did in the last one, that's fine. So 2K plus 18 for me is 2:03 pace. So I don't really want to be going any faster than that. Although, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure I did say 2:05 to 2:07 for the last one. I'll find out in the edit suite. But regardless, this one's definitely go down as my most scatterbrained RowAlong workout ever. If this is the first one you've watched, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't watch any more. They're not all like this. Some of them I actually seem as though I know what I'm doing. Doofus. Maybe that'll be today's closing hashtag. Scatterbrained. Well, so let's concentrate on the next part of technique, which I want to talk about your arms. So as you come into the front, I want you to have nice straight arms. So maybe not totally locked elbows, but straight, and possibly with an external rotation through the elbows to help the power transfer through. And then your hands, I want them to be loose and relaxed and just hooking over the handle. Your fingers are like hooks, so you're not gripping it for dear life. You're just hooked over the handle. Thumbs nice and loose underneath. And then as you start the stroke, keep those arms straight. Okay? So, vast majority of the stroke, your arms are straight because you start the drive when they're straight and you only finish at the back. But then you quickly get them out straight again. And the key is that when you get them out straight again, you want them to be relaxed, okay? And this is when our little zombie friends come in. Just pretend you're like a zombie. Nice and loose, relaxed, floppy shoulders, relaxed arms, like a zombie. And it's only when you connect with your feet and start the stroke that you then brace against the force and things just get a little bit more solid. You're still not tight or tense. That's important. But you're a bit more solid in taking the power. 2 more strokes. 1 more. I mean, obviously it's a bit of a silly way to think about it, but honestly, put your arms in front of you and zombie, and that kind of floppy arm is how you want to address the front of the machine. Obviously your hands have to be a bit more up, you can't do that. But that does set you up for that relaxed point to then take it. If you come in all tense at the front, and you, like if you took a video and saw your muscles rippling as you're coming to the front, you're way too tense. You're wasting energy and you're gonna possibly disrupt the power transfer as you start your stroke. Okay, get ready to press your undefined rest button in 3, 2, 1, push it. And then we're going to start our third interval at 22 strokes a minute and run about 2K plus 15 in 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So 22 strokes a minute. Try and see if you can go 3 seconds faster than you were just going in the last one. Unless, of course, you're trying to keep the intensity down. In which case, just make sure you're going 1 or 2 seconds faster than before. Like I say, as long as you're working on things like technique and you're using this as a recovery row. Oh, I'm going a bit too slow stroke rate wise, aren't I? That's better. Then it's okay to go a little bit slower. The point is that the bottom tier stuff is meant to be this kind of foundation, low intensity, in order to build your system, build your engine, act as a recovery row. And if you push these too hard, you take them away from that recovery engine building intensity into something a bit more kind of mushy, because it's not going to test you enough to be a mid tier, and it's not going to be easy enough to be a bottom tier. So you've kind of fallen through the cracks if you push a row like this. If you're going to push a row, push the top tier stuff. That I give you full rein. If you want to go faster than I say, go for it. Just make sure you're not going so fast that you can't manage the whole session. But top tier stuff is where you perform and exceed. Bottom tier is when you recover, rebuild, and grow. And don't worry, I used to ignore all that, but I found out at my cost that it's a one-way ticket to exhaustion. I was listening to someone the other day who said it's really hard to overtrain, but it's really easy to under-recover. So what he was saying is that if you take enough recovery, it's really hard to actually overtrain and blow up your muscles. But if you constantly train at these top tier, pushing everything workouts and don't recover, either through rest days or bottom tier workouts, that leads to exhaustion, overtraining syndrome, injury, and if nothing else, it'll just stunt your development. If you're not able to perform on the performance building sessions because you're too tired from pushing sessions like this, then you're not going to get any faster. Your ego might grow from pushing the bottom tier stuff, but then your ego is just going to get kicked into touch when you're too tired to manage the top tier stuff. So try and remember that. It's actually hard to overtrain, but it's really easy to under-recover. Right, don't worry, I'm going to go back to technique in the next interval. I just thought, as being we were at the sharp end of this pyramid, it was worthwhile bringing up this idea of not getting the wind in your fur and trying to push the pace in this kind of a session too much. Okay, Almost there. 3, 2, last one. 1. Oh, I'm gonna have to take my jumper off, I'm afraid. Hang on. Whew. Da 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 da. Can I get the microphone back in? Hello, testing, testing. This is RowAlong. Oh. I'm certainly warmer, but now all I can see is steam rising off me. I do hope that doesn't give the Vaseline effect on the camera lens. Although, to be fair, I could probably do that. If only to cover up my ridiculously unshaven face. So sorry. Anyway, right, press your continue button now. So that was 10 seconds to go. Almost missed it then. Too busy mugging the camera. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So back to 20 strokes a minute. And 2K plus 18 to 20 pace. So this means that I'm aiming for 2:03 this time as my average. If I want to be on the faster end. Now let's talk legs. Let's see if I can get legs out the way in 5.5 minutes. So legs start with how far forwards you slide on the seat. Ideally, you want to get far enough forwards so that your shins point straight up. They're vertical at the front. You don't want to go past vertical because that can lead to butt scoots and power leakage for some. Some people can row okay that way, but as a general rule. And then you also don't want to come up short because then you're robbing yourself of leg drive. So try and get into that vertical shins. And if you're having difficulty getting there, do take a look at your foot stretchers. If you're set too high, if your feet are too high up, that's going to choke your flexibility. So maybe try dropping them a notch. See if that helps. Anyway, so then when you get into that shins vertical position, don't worry if your heels come very slightly off the foot plate. Not loads, just very slightly. As long as you're leaning forwards, up on your sit bones, that's fine. And then, to start the drive, really slam your feet, your heels into the foot plate, and just think of pushing the machine away from you. I know, sounds counterintuitive, but if you can think of pushing the machine away, then you get that nice hang off the handle with your straight arms. If you're only ever thinking of pulling the handle, what likely happens is you get to the front and you instantly bend those arms. Which you don't want to do, because you steal power from your leg drive just to be able to brace against the handle with your tense muscles. You don't want to do that. So think about pushing the machine away from you, pushing into next door. Hold that forward lean as you push the machine away, and you should feel your butt goes slightly lighter on the seat as you hang off the handle. and the power goes through. Then a full leg drive, so nice and straight at the back, but not locked knees, just knees down. And then as you get the handle away from you and your body rocks forwards, once the handle has gone past your knees, that is when you can bend your knees, and that will let you slide effortlessly to the front of the machine rather than trying to yank yourself forwards by pulling on the foot straps. You don't do it that way. Nice, fluid. Because if nothing else, yanking on the foot straps is a terrific waste of energy that you just don't need to use. And also, if you think back to interval 1, when I spoke about posture, if you yank on the foot straps, it tucks your hips back and under, meaning your posture is nowhere near optimum as you address the front of the machine to the catch, ready for the drive. The last thing to say on the drive is just try and get those legs down just before your back and arms finish. And that way you'll know you've got all of the power from your legs into the stroke. 3, 2, 1. Ready? I can't remember what it's called, but it's a great, really simple game for the iPhone. Is it Ready, Steady, Go or something? It's like a Wild West shooting game. 2 people outside of the phone, and it just goes ready, steady, go. And on the go is when you tap it to try and shoot the other guy. That's a completely pointless thing to talk about, but because I said 3, 2, 1 in a very odd way, I thought I'd explain what was going through my brain. To be honest, I have no idea what's been going through in my brain today. Think of the viewers I will lose as you came along expecting some alpha male guy. Instead you got me. Right, 3, get ready to press your button. 1, press your continue to next interval. We are going for the next interval in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So this is our final interval, our last one of 6, 18 strokes a minute, and your pace should be between 2k plus 20 and 2k plus 22. So for me to get my maths definitely right this time, that means between 205 and 207 I'm aiming for. Not actually been keeping an eye on my heart rate through these rows. I think they're probably, I'm trying to look at erg zone that's lying on the floor. Yeah, first couple were within the maffetone range, but the third one wasn't. Fourth one, almost. Let's see how this one finishes. So really, technique is about rowing efficiently and safely and being able to put power into the machine. All of which means that you can continue your training and your rowing by the time you spend in the machine, because not only do you get fitter, which means you can row for longer and you see the results of what you're doing, like literally right in front of you, you get stronger, which then means you're able to go faster, and your little monitor comes up with the numbers to tell you you're getting stronger because you can see you're going faster. But also, because of these things, because you're not getting injured, because you're going faster, because you're getting stronger, that success breeds success. The motivation to continue to carry on training is there because you feel yourself developing, because you're suddenly reaping the rewards of what's in front of you. So, as much as I know I bang on about technique nowadays, pretty much in every single row, there's just such value behind rowing with a strong technique. There's an article posted a few days ago saying the rowing machine will exercise 85% of muscles in your body. The rowing machine won't exercise any muscle in your body. It just sits there silently waiting for someone to climb on. Some people will climb on and they'll use 85-90% of their muscles. They'll have good technique and they'll really know how to make the concept 2 sing, the two of them working in harmony together. But then the next person flops down onto the machine, whacks the lever up to 10, and then just tickles up and down on the rail for 10 minutes, hardly making the fan move much, not using their legs at all, only really using their arms. And in the end, they kind of around about 40% of their muscles get 40% of the possible workout that they could have had. So, like I say, the machine is capable of working all those muscles in your body, but you have to be meeting it halfway with something resembling a good technique. You want to make sure that the power comes from your legs, and that uses your legs and your core, and if you've got that forward lean, your back comes into play. And then if you wait until the end to finish with the handle, that's when your arms really come into their own with that explosive finish and your biceps bulging in the wind. Maybe not the wind, get what I mean. So that's why I talk technique so much, is that I want you to get the maximum that you can out of the machine when you're using it, both physically, mentally, motivationally, and no, that's it. Don't really spiritually, you don't get anything out of it, do you? One more stroke. I ran out of steam with my analogy there, didn't I? Okay, so like I say, or said at the beginning, a low intensity interval training. So I finished, heart rate's 140 right now, so my maffetone range is around about 135. You shouldn't really go over it, so slightly a bit fast if I was doing the math training, but I wasn't. But it just shows you can keep that nice and low if you keep the pace at the right region, or at least I can. So, and the point of this really is important, that you just keep it steady. You let your mitochondria, like the little furnaces, the tiny little engines the sparks in your body which fire and give all your muscles power. When you do a session like that, you're building them everywhere. It's like pop, 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 mitochondria everywhere. And that's what builds up this real power system that you've got to then, when you need to, you can go fast. And you've got that power behind you to really be able to push because you've got that strong engine behind you, okay? You wouldn't put an engine from an old Fiat Cinquecento into a Ferrari, would you? They can go and then can't actually go fast. Just because the Ferrari is built, designed, sleek and everything to go fast, if it doesn't have the engine in the middle of it to make it go fast, it won't go fast. Right, I'll shut up. Shall we do a cool down? Shall we? So 18 strokes a minute again in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh. Right, so like I say, I do feel that today's row was probably one of the more scatterbrained of the rows, but hell, hey, they can't all be super controlled, just me talking about technique and stuff all the time. Maybe you were entertained as I was messing things up. Maybe you found it amusing. Maybe it was just the distraction you needed to get through what's admittedly quite a dull row. But I promise you one thing, this isn't an act. I didn't think, today I'm going to play a fool. I'm going to row for a while and I'm going to fluff my lines and entertain people, haha. No. I just thought, what am I going to talk about today? And suddenly, my brain went, poop. Now, the next session I'm going to record is going to be the flip side of this. It's going to be a true HIIT workout. Now I say true because most high intensity interval training sessions don't actually give you enough rest for them to be high intensity interval. What they're more like is high intensity steady state almost, because the recovery is so short that it's like your engine is purring along at the same kind of rate the whole time, like your heart hardly gets to recover. Hang on, let's do 3 more strokes. And I'll quickly finish off that thought. Ta-da. Like if you look at the Tabata workouts. Okay, so Tabata workout is 20 seconds as hard as you can, and then 10 seconds rest. 20 seconds as hard as you can, 10 seconds rest. And I think I've even got a workout on this channel that is the Tabata one, and it does clearly say big letters, HIIT workout. And it's not, because your body doesn't recover enough for the next interval to be able to put in maximum intensity. Eventually you just plateau off, and especially with the Tabata, because your heart rate never gets a chance to kind of go back down again because you've only got 10 seconds rest. You're just this complete steady state. So it's a high intensity steady state workout, which is fine. HIIT, it'll work for you, but it's not this HIIT. So the next session I'm going to do is going to be a high intensity interval training, and it's going to be 30 seconds on with 2 minutes off. So 30 seconds absolute full power, okay? And then 2 minutes to let your body metabolize everything that just happened. Your metabolic rate can do whatever it does. All the toxins are kind of processed in your muscles, and you're then ready to go for the next one. And so that then is a real, and even then the 2 minutes recovery is probably a little bit on the short side. But that's what the next one. So this one being a low intensity steady state, low intensity interval training. The next one's going to be a true HIIT workout, okay? So keep an eye out for that one. Hopefully that'll be up in the next couple of days. Obviously, I know this is YouTube, so there's a chance this has been up for months, but hopefully next in the playing order on the video, you'll see that this one will be marked as the LIIT, and then the one above it will be the true HIIT, okay? So anyway, sorry, I know this has been a really weird video in terms of just me ranting and talking. I do think part of it is COVID madness, where I'm just stuck in my edit suite all day on my own, hardly speaking to anybody. And then I come and make one of these videos, and it's like I've got the entire day's worth of stuff to talk about, and I'm afraid you're getting it. So that's why it's a little bit The only downside is just the length of the intro was probably ridiculously long, wasn't it? Because you're sitting there going, come on, John, are we ever going to get rowing? But hey, maybe you just sat down, maybe you just loaded it up on TV, you poured yourself a nice glass of milk or something, and you're like, I just want to watch a doofus Scotsman just muck up his entire video and not have the sense to start again. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. So anyway, so if you have watched all of this, and if you want to comment, and if you want to use some kind of a hashtag to let me know you made it this far through, which is the way that we tag to see if people have made it this far away, then the hashtag, like I said, halfway through is going to be scatterbrain or scatterbrained or doofus, whatever you want to say. Just because, yeah, it's a weird one. But hey, listen, like I say, if I was the same person every single time, then it just get boring, especially because, to be honest, most of the sessions are kind of similar. So it has to be down to the things I say that are different that makes it for why you'd load it up again. I assume. It'd be, if I was watching some idiot like me doing this, I'd want them to at least be slightly different each time round. Maybe next time I'll wear a dunce's hat or something, but anyway. So there we go. Thank you so much for being here and for watching this video and for putting up with me. Good grief, you're good people for putting up with me. And I will see you in the HIIT workout if that's the next one that you're going to do. Otherwise, go sniff around the channel. Leave me some comments on the YouTube videos. Do subscribe. Do click the little bell so you get a wee email saying that I've uploaded another video. That's always useful thing, so you don't have to go, I wonder if he's put another one up yet. And remember, there's also the podcast version of these rows, which don't go up quite as fast as the video ones. But if you search for RowAlong on your various podcast listening thing, then you should find that for times when you can't be bothered looking at my face. Anyway, thank you once again. Please stay safe and please be well. And I will see you in whatever video we watch and row together next. Bye-bye.